Hello and welcome to all of our Gold viewers who are here with us today. I'm Kristen Schwartz, licensed midwife and one of the MCs here at Gold. And today I'm with a special friend and speaker here at Gold, Laurel Wilson. Hi, Laurel. It's good to see you again.
Hi, Kristen. Hi, everyone. So great to be back at Lactation.
At
Fun.
the big lactation conference. It's good to have you back here at the Gold Lactation Online Conference of 2022. You have a fantastic topic lined up for us this year. But before we jump into this, tell us a little bit about yourself. Many of our viewers know you, of course, but maybe just tell us where in the world you are and tell us a bit about your background.
Yeah, so I'm coming to you all from Colorado, Larkspur, Colorado. So I'm in the mountains. And I have been in the world of perinatal support and work for more than 30 years, coming close to 32 years. And my passion for lactation really stemmed from my work, my early work supporting families as a doula and a childbirth educator. And it was just kind of a natural progression to fall in love with human milk and breast and chest feeding. And I eventually moved that into primarily professional training and support for lactation support providers and IBCLCs. So that's kind of what has happened for me over time.
That's fantastic. You have a great topic lined up here. Inside Out, it's titled Inside Out, Unraveling the Dance of the NeoHormones, the Estrobolome, and the microbiome. And when I read this, I'm like, oh my gosh, this sounds exciting. I feel like we're all gonna geek out with Laura Wilson and during this presentation. So talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I got interested in neohormones probably 5 years ago. I started looking more in depth at how their hormonal changes impacted the microbiome because the microbiome and the epigenome are things that have fascinated me for probably 15 years. And as I started learning about how hormonal fluctuations really change the game, it just started to fascinate me, and I came across this term of neohormones, which essentially means new
Mhm.
hormones. They're not new, but they were the hormones that evolutionarily were new because they changed the game for mammals. They made mammals so successful all around the world, and they're essentially our reproductive and fertility hormones. And one of the things that has happened for me, some of you may notice since the last time I was here, I have turned silver. I've been going through the process of perimenopause and menopause. And as part of that research, I learned about the estrobolome, which is a very unique part of the microbiome. And it is all about how we process and detox our estrogen levels. And what we're now starting to find is that this can cause a challenge for women both during lactogenesis
Hmm.
um, and also in the postpartum period if they maintain estrogen dominance because they're unable to detoxify their estrogen. So I thought, oh my goodness, what an interesting kind of marriage of what I'm
Right.
focusing on and learning today with what I have loved for all these decades and putting them sort of together for a gold audience.
That's absolutely fantastic because I feel like this is a novel way of looking at that. Of course, we all know hormones are involved in milk making, right? But as you describe it, it is kind of a dance of these hormones, and making sure that the levels are there where we want them to be. And it sounds really abstract, but it is really, really not that abstract because it is what's really happening in practice. So talk to us a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, one of the things that I think we are noticing all around the world is that we are living in more and more toxic environments. We are
Hmm.
exposed to so many more pesticides. We're exposed to so many xenoestrogens. We are seeing impacts on our body that accumulate over time. And as we start to see parents pushing their their decisions to conceive and have babies until later on in life, we start to see these accumulations really starting to matter to our biology because they significantly impact our hormonal status. And unfortunately, this
Mhm.
does take a toll on us when we are in that process of trying to develop our mammary tissue and also to feed our babies. So, we're
Mhm.
just going to talk about how those things can impact our bodies and some ways that we can provide very generalized counseling for families about how to kind of clean up their environment, what
Mhm.
sort of symptoms to look for, how to direct them to appropriate healthcare providers when we suspect that something like this may be going on, and and how to just help them navigate these new waters that we're finding ourselves in, so that we really can help them optimize their own personal health, and the health of their baby by helping them to maintain lactation, when that's the parental desire. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah.
Fascinating. Can't wait for that. Now, my question is, new parents, you know how that goes. They're very tired after birth, caring for a newborn, caring for the, healing from birth. So how do we go about educating without giving them another thing to worry about,
Yeah.
another, oh my gosh, another thing to think about, without making it too overwhelming? But yes, giving them the benefits and but still taking it in, presenting it in a way that they feel like I can do this. This is doable.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I mean, ideally, we have access to them prenatally. That's the ideal
Yeah,
environment, that we
that
can
is.
get to them in the antenatal period and provide some early lactation classes for them. And it can just
Mhm,
simply be as simple as when you discuss nutrition, just talking about some forms of nutrition that can really help to optimize their
mhm.
hormonal environment, as opposed to going, these are all the scary things, stay away. But
Yes, right.
here's some
Mm,
great things that taste delicious, really good for you, really nutritious, and are going to help you maintain hormonal balance during this
mm,
pregnancy and in the postpartum period. And then later on, when we do get into that stage where we're supporting a family in the postpartum period and we're starting to notice some symptoms of estrogen dominance, and we may
mhm,
be noticing some signs and symptoms of maybe low milk supply, that's when we can start to just um, inquire, like
mhm.
start to just do very gentle inquiry instead of just saying, "Oh my gosh, are you exposed to xenoestrogens? Are you, are all these things happening to you?" Instead, just kind of just leading them down this little field of inquiry so that we can start in our
Mhm,
mind going, this may be a problem. Okay. So, once you get to kind of the end of your consult, you may think, I think there may be an imbalance in the estrobolome here. And you can just make some very supportive recommendations of, these are some things you may want to talk to your healthcare provider about. Maybe great to get a hormonal panel.
mhm,
And we'll take it to the next step, because you may not want to make all these deep dive recommendations until you really know what's going on. So that first stage is just that stage of inquiry for you,
mhm,
as a lactation support provider. And then the next stage may be offering them some more specific suggestions based on what you know and
mhm.
what you're finding out, instead of
Uh,
taking it piece by
yes.
piece, little by little. No one's going to completely clean up their environment in one
No,
one
absolutely.
go,
Yeah.
or change a significantly imbalanced estrobolome. For many of us, it took us a decade or more to get here. So
Right. Yeah. So we can't
it can
expect
take
it
some
to
time to
to
clean things up and balance things out.
absolutely. Well, Laura, in your research, when you put those two pieces together, you love with working with new families and lactation and your research you've been doing. Was there anything that surprised you or stood out to you?
Oh my gosh, there were so many. I mean, there's so many surprises to me. I think just oh my goodness, I can't even identify just one thing. I think for me, one of just the big shockers is just the load that we have in our
Mm,
exposome. So that's like all the things that are in our environment that really influence how our hormones are playing well together.
mhm,
And we don't tend to think of that, the load of all of it, of how all these things are interacting and changing the health status of of our hormones. So I think that was probably the most impactful to me,
mhm,
is to see that significance.
mhm.
That significance. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Now, Laura, before I let you go, any final words for our viewers? Any little piece you want to leave them with?
I'm just so excited to see everybody, and I'm hoping that I hope you all join us live so that I can chat with you and interact with you and see your discussion, because that's always my favorite part of the lactation conference. So I hope to see you live.
Thank you so much, Laurel Wilson. It's been so wonderful to host you today, and I'm looking forward to the presentation at the Gold Lactation Conference.
Me too. Me too. I'm looking forward to it.
And now some information for our viewers. If you would like to find out more information about Laurel's presentation and all the other great presentations in the conference, we invite you to go to goldlactation.com. We get started with the conference on April 2nd with an open access, free of charge keynote presentation. You'll find out the information also, of course, also on the website. So we hope to see you, as Laurel said, at the conference. Bye-bye, everyone.